What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, and I'm back. I'm back into the United States of America. It's always good to be home, even though I do like traveling. I mean, you get to see different people and how they live, the things that they enjoy, especially, down in Jamaica. It's pretty cool, hot. The hospitality was great. I got the chance to learn about different coconuts. Didn't even know. Some coconuts come with some type of cream inside that you can eat. And the other coconuts is the ones you make almond joys out of. I had no idea. I'm thinking, okay, this coconut has some type of slime in the middle. Last I checked, when I cut my coconuts open, I don't see slime. But they said that if you don't let the coconut grow too much, you can get the slime. So therefore, I learned a survival tactic. If I'm ever trapped on an island and don't have fresh water, I'm going to get the early stage coconuts, the young ones, the ones that haven't hit puberty yet. Grab those coconuts, crush them on the rock or something, and drink the slime water out of it. Okay, that's my plan. Other coconuts, let them mature, crack those open, get a little coconut, scrape it off there, have a good meal. But anyway, not here to talk about coconuts. I'm here to talk about the peanuts and the Democratic Party and the nonsense that's going on around the United States. Now, we've had another shooting, two of them, matter of fact, one of them in my home state, and it's unfortunate, down in Dayton, Ohio. Now, I'm a little concerned because every time these shootings take place, they always seem to take place like right around an election, after certain narratives are being pushed, certain rhetoric is being pushed. For example, I know I heard the FBI director had the nerve to talk about this new uprising of white nationalism for some reason. And of course, the left and the liberal media has been talking about white nationalism for the last 2.5 years, like there's this big boom, this surge in white nationalism, which I'm a little concerned about. Because see, when you start pushing narratives like this, one, you instill fear in the public. Two, you kind of have to justify this with some type of logic. Okay, so now when you're talking about this white nationalism, and I see what they're doing, they're trying to tie the narrative to President Trump and some of the things that he say that hurts people on the inside. Okay, trying to make it seem like what he's inciting is this uprising in white nationalism. But here's the thing: every time a shooting takes place, they try to talk about, okay, here it is, another shooting took place randomly, and it has to be tied to this uprising of white nationalism. Then they will try to find some manifesto or something that the person said that might even sound remotely like it's referring to President Trump. And then they go from there. What President Trump and all this rhetoric and this division probably caused this. So here's my thing. If these people are white nationalists, first of all, what organization do they belong to? I'm just curious. I mean, when you start talking about white nationalists, if you're going to die for a cause or a movement, I would think you would partner up with other white nationalists, and they would say, like the terrorists. See, terrorists have a unified goal and objective. When you look at a lot of the radical terrorists, they work together, they coordinate attacks, they have hubs, they have leaders, they have all this stuff. These people who are randomly shooting people, they don't have no connections. Where is the Grand Poobah? Where is their new modern Hitler? I mean, I'm not seeing that. So you're telling me these guys are just coming up with these random ideas of getting this ideal across of white nationalism by shooting people. Most of the time they end up getting killed for it or captured, and then we never hear anything else about these guys. They just kind of disappear for a long time. We don't hear much, like what happened to them. Were they sentenced to death? I don't know. Nothing, just they just kind of go somewhere secretly and be put away. But nonetheless, so they shoot these people, and I'm thinking, what's your goal? What's your goal and objective? What have you now changed? All you've done is become a martyr. All you've done is killed a lot of random people, but nobody has become inspired by your act of terrorist, your act of violence. Nobody has said, you know what, that person just made me want to become a white nationalist. Nothing comes of it. So then the goal and objective is totally lost in the heinous act. So I don't understand. If you're going to push a narrative, tie it to something that makes sense. Well, here's what they're trying to do. They're trying to tie it to President Trump. Now, here's the other irony of it all. The only people talking about white nationalism, the FBI director, who I don't trust, the Democrats, who I definitely don't trust, and the liberal media. And then, of course, all of their brainwashed people running around the United States talking about, well, this is the rise of white nationalists, because they're just puppets. They just, they're parents. They told me to say white nationalists. They told me to say white. That's all they are. So when you hear these narratives being pushed like this, and you sit back and you think about it, and you say, wait a minute, when did President Trump ever mention white nationalists in the context of inspiring white people to become white nationalists, inspiring white people to feel better than other people? Name one of his policies that is directed towards building up white people only and not others, or suppressing others than white people. Give me a speech that he even used the word white nationalism in, that he even inspired and inferred, suggested, anything, referenced white nationalism, with the exception of condemning the ones that were down there in Charlottesville. Other than that, when they hear him talk about nationalism, patriotism, America first, Border Patrol, none of that has anything to do with white nationalism. The incentive is that the liberal media and the Democrats are saying, this is our chance to twist his words and say, let's make it seem like he means something that it isn't, which he's promoting white nationalism, which now has inspired these people to make these shootings. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I thought crazy inspired them. That's what I thought. I thought just pure, full-blown insanity motivated these people to do it, or possibly they have been brainwashed through some organization. I mean, these two shooters look identical twins. You see them? I mean, what's going on here? Out of all of a sudden, they were telekinesis, like, all right, it's my chance to go ahead and commit this crime. Oh, well, this cat's on one accord with me. Let's do it tomorrow then. And you do it the next day. Yeah, we'll kind of coordinate our attack. So I'm concerned about it. It's always this pop up out of nowhere. And then, of course, here comes the gun narratives. Then, of course, the white nationalist narrative. And then listen to this embarrassment to the state of Ohio. Tim Ryan, this big bag of poop that gets on Fox today and tries to use this to his advantage to throw mud on President Trump. Now I'm going to have to destroy this man. Let's continue, and then I'm going to wrap it up.
That we've in the United States, that the president has created in the United States. Honestly, for a guy to drive 10 hours to go kill Mexicans, like what happened in El Paso, is sickening. And I think that the environment around anti-immigration, the race issues that are so polarizing today, that the president...
Okay, now, check it out. Nobody's talking about race except the Democrats and the liberal media. President Trump don't get up talking about race. Talks about people's attitude towards our country. He talks about people's stupid remarks, all those things, but he doesn't get up and say black people, white people. And when he does divide us like that, it's in a good way. Black unemployment's doing great. Hispanic unemployment's doing great. And when I say great, mean low numbers. He talks about it in an uplifting way to show that his policies are helping everybody across the spectrum. Only the media brings it up in a negative context. But look also what this bag of dirt did. He also said anti-immigration. Notice he didn't mention illegal immigration. He wants everybody out there to think that President Trump is against immigration. Now, that is a full-blown lie. But he's okay with that because that's what he's doing. He's lying, and he knows it. See, the bottom line is all of these people running around the United States that came here legally, if President Trump or any of his supporters were against immigration or immigrants, we would be jockeying to get them out too. Okay? What? You got your papers? You're legit? So what? You're from another country. We want you out of here. That's what we want. Yeah, but nobody's doing that. We're only talking about what the Democrats want to do, which is flood our country with illegal immigration and illegal immigrants from Mexico. And that is why, for some reason, he's focused on the Mexicans and that guy who went down there to shoot him. It was the Mexicans and all of that stuff. You know, he wants us to think that President Trump's stance against illegal immigration that really impacts South American countries more than any other one is the motivation for this guy to go down there and shoot some Mexicans or whatever. All right, let's continue.
Was gas on. It's got to stop, Maria. We got to bring this country together. Kids are scared to go to school. Parents are scared, and they've been telling me, and we've got kids too, 3 of them, they're afraid to send their kids to school. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Now, you know what's funny about that? They probably wouldn't be scared to go to school if y'all would have let teachers have weapons that were trained and wanted to actually carry the weapons. Or if y'all would do things that will prevent them from even getting in schools. But see, here's the other thing. He's talking probably about, rural areas and places that usually are the targets of this type of shooting. Okay, he's not talking about the kids that's scared to go out on a playground in Chicago, or the kids that's scared to go out and walk to school in Virginia and places like that, up there in the crap hole place that Donald Trump called out Cummings about. I mean, Baltimore. I mean, all them kids that's being randomly shot in their own neighborhoods, they're scared too. Wonder why he's not talking about that. There's some places in Ohio where people are scared, and they're not scared of a lone wolf white person coming in and shooting up a whole bunch of people. These are people who are scared in their own neighborhood because of the violence and different things like that. But that's not his issue. His issue is not all of the black people and Americans that are killed by random one-on-one shots, or I just happen to be a victim walking by when somebody was shooting at somebody else, gang violence, MS-13, any of those things. He's not talking about those type of fears. He only wants to focus on one fear because he's pushing one narrative, which is white nationalism against illegal immigrants. Or should he say immigrants, just coming for a better life? Sure, some more of this bag of garbage.
Synagogues, churches, schools. I mean, what is going on here? We've got to bring this country together. We've got to heal, and it's got to start at the top. The president has to take a leadership role in this. He's got to stop being so divisive. He's got to stop tipping his hat to the white nationalists.
Now, that right there was a full-blown lie. He said he has to stop being divisive. I mean, he just had a parade about America's freedom. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, this man honors every group of people he can possibly honor. Black people, white people, heroes, people who've been veterans. I've seen him bring all colors and races. Indians have been in the White House, all of that. When he gives his big speeches, he includes Americans. Only person who's divisive is the Democrats and the liberal media. They're the only ones that breaks things up into white, black, Chinese, Mexican, women, gays, lesbians, you name it. These aren't terms that you see flying out of the president's mouth. It's coming out of their mouth because that's their whole strategy. They don't know how to win on policies. So what they do is they sit back and they say, well, even though this person really is talking about patriotism and he's talking about Americans as a whole, I'm going to make it seem as if he's only focused on white people. That's it. The rest of them are garbage. Or just because this person's talking about illegal immigration and I want that to continue so we can build our voter base, I'm going to have to somehow flip it in the minds of the people, along with my buddies in the liberal media, because they're helping out too. So I'm going to have to go ahead and flip that and make people think he's only talking about immigration or people across the board that comes here from Mexico or any South American country, regardless whether they're legal or illegal. You see, he doesn't care about those things. He just don't want anybody of color coming to this country. And then this man has the nerve to say that he's always thrown a bone to the white nationalists. And I'm thinking, at what point? I mean, as a black man, I listen to the president very closely. Never once have I been like, President Trump is going, whoa, what did he just say? That sounded like he just excluded me. And it sounded like he just was focused on white nationalists. What are they interpreting that I can't interpret? I'm pretty wise. I'm pretty clever. I'm pretty astute. I got a good command of the English language and vocabulary. I know context. I know all of those things. So when I listen to his speeches, how are they getting this out of those speeches when I'm not getting it? They're not educated more than me. I was a principal. I was a school teacher. Okay, I know how to speak all types of lingo. I could go into the school and speak Ebonics with the kids, and then I could go to the White House and speak the King's English. You are not going to speak over my head. He can't slide in subliminals to where I'm thinking to myself, well, I didn't even catch that. I don't know, that must have been a dog whistle. Yeah, it was too high, the pitch was too sharp for me to catch just with my regular human ears. There was this dog whistle to all the white nationalists that have dog ears. This guy's ridiculous.
To where he's talking to some crazy guy who's going to drive 10 hours to shoot Mexicans. I mean, what the hell are we talking about here? This is insane.
Well, wait a minute. You're saying a lot of things there. And the president obviously came out and offered his condolences this morning. He said that we are waiting on information in terms of what the motives are in this situation. You just mentioned immigration. The president has said many times he's not against immigration. He's against illegal immigration. Are you saying that it's the same thing, whether it's illegal or legal immigration?
That's what he said. Get him.
I'm saying I read the manifesto that this person who committed the crime in El Paso wrote. And it was all about Mexicans. I mean, it sounded like parts of it, could have come out of a Trump rally.
Now, see, once again, he just threw all of the Trumpsters under the bus out of a Trump rally. When have you heard people in the Trump rally saying we don't like Mexicans, we don't like immigrants at all? All they're talking about is illegal immigration. It is almost unbelievable that these Democrats and these people in the liberal media can't understand the difference between legal and illegal immigration. They do. They understand the difference. They just don't want you to. That's all it is. So once again, he's now demonizing not only Trump, but he's demonizing all the people in his rally as if we are all sitting around in Trump rallies going, all these dirty, nasty immigrants, don't matter where they come from. They just all nasty, dirty, wetback, stinking, disgusting immigrants. We don't want them over here. We don't want them over here. I love immigrants, okay? I was over in Jamaica, and I got a lot of Jamaican in my blood. Do you think they just let me walk up in Jamaica like, hey, man, I'm here, back to the motherland, eh? Come on, let's give me some of that patois. I speak patois too. Eh? Come selecta with a boy like me bad. Don't care me name, no spread no rumor, show me enough respect. They got me living in the ghetto, show me enough respect. They call me pirates. I couldn't go over there. I don't care if I sang all the Jamaican songs. I don't care if I took them back to the shopper, Mr. Lover Man, shopper. They call me Mr. Lover Man, they call me Mr. They would have been like, that's all good and all, man. Where's your passport? Where's your papers? They would have made me come up and show some paperwork. I couldn't just go into Jamaica and wander around aimlessly over there. And then they say, well, just because he's black and got a little Jamaican blood in him, then he's good. Let him go ahead, and the rest of you guys stay right there. I need to see your paperwork. Everybody has decency and order. That's all we're saying. Not the Democrats, though. For some reason, that goes right over their head. Go to another country and enforce it. And when you look at Jamaica and you look at America, look at the technology differences. Look at the military and the police and all of these resources we got. And you telling me that we, the powerful nation with all of these resources, we can't enforce our border, but yet Jamaica has a very tight immigration program where I couldn't get in there. They checked me like 4 or 5 times before I even got into the country. So this man is crazy. Let's hear the rest of this garbage before I wrap this up.
Honestly, this guy was going to kill Mexicans because of the environment that this president has created in this country. And the president's not always talking to people who are stable.
You know what's crazy about this projection that this man is talking about? Do you understand how far along we would be as a country if President Trump would have got elected and they would have accepted the fact that he beat Hillary Clinton's butt, and then they wouldn't have pushed this Russian narrative, and they wouldn't be bombarding every citizen in the United States with these narratives of racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, all of this stuff that most Americans wake up in the morning not thinking about. But if you happen to walk past the TV, they're on here driving it home straight down your throat. Who keeps these narratives in the minds of Americans is not President Trump. It is the very people trying to defeat him. The people who have a motive to demonize him and to flip his words. And that is why people with brains have to always go back and reread. Listen to the whole speech in context. Because guess what? We know that there are creeps out there, dirty, nasty, funky demon rats in the liberal media who have a main goal and objective. And if you're not careful, you'll buy into it because they're misleading you. They're leaving information out, suppressing information, manipulating information, and pushing narratives that has divided the country more than the president. Who do you think divided the country concerning the Russian narrative? Was it the president or was it the liberal media and the demon rats? I didn't hear any of the people on the right. They were trying to get stuff done. While they were doing that, you turn on CNN, MSNBC, Russia, impeachment, Russia. Could this be the end? Could this be the end of the president? Could this be finally the walls are closing in? Walls are closing. This next information could destroy the presidency of all of that stuff came from them. We wouldn't have walked around thinking about Russia, racism, division, xenophobia, homophobia, you name it. All of that garbage is weaponized by the left out to destroy the president, the people on the right who disagree with their policies, and anybody else who openly defy their garbage liberal policies. That's all it is. And I hope that people wake up and smell the coffee. You can't explain people who make decisions like this, with the exception of they're crazy. That's it. I'm going to wrap this up right now.
The people get guns and drive 10 hours and go shoot Mexicans. It's got to stop, Maria. Look, I'm as a bipartisan of a guy as you want. I want to work across the aisle. I want to work with Republicans.
No, he doesn't. In fact, he's an embarrassment to Ohio. I'm sorry. I apologize that he had the nerve to come out of the state of Ohio, y'all. On behalf of Ohioans, I do submit this apology. Please accept our apology, okay? We normally don't produce garbage like that. But yeah, he's garbage. And I could have finished it, but it ain't even worth it. Y'all see where it's going. You see how he now has tried to use this to his advantage. You know how the Democrats are. They're saying, you know what? It's only a good crisis if I can use it to my advantage. Notice they didn't come out and talk about all this stuff when Steve Scalise got shot playing baseball by a Bernie supporter. Huh? Where's all of that then? Oh, we got to stop on the left. We're always pushing these narratives of President Trump being Hitler. They're not coming out and talking about this stuff got to stop with Antifa. I don't hear that. This stuff really has to stop. I mean, we demonize the president so much. Everybody thinks he's Mussolini. Of course, these people are going to be running around hitting people with bike locks. We need to stop. It only comes down to we need to stop when they can push a white nationalist narrative, which is a garbage narrative, because these men are not tied to no white nationalists. What are you talking about? So let's find the white nationalists, program, their cell. Are they all hiding underground? Where do they secretly meet? I'm willing to go in undercover, paint my face white, go in like, howdy. Listen, I've been following you guys for quite some time. I'm here. White power, right? What, you can't do the fist? What's the white power sign? White power? Is that it? That's okie dokie. I don't know what. Well, anyway, whatever you guys do, I'm here. I'm here for you. Let me go in undercover and find out where all these white nationalists hiding. Or perhaps we can say that there are some people out there that's crazy, just like Antifa. See, Antifa's a whole bunch of them. See, it's a whole bunch. See, they're not lone wolves. A group of them organized with people funding them, people who lead their whole attack and program and all of that stuff. That's an organization that you can say, yes, that is growing and it's a problem in America. These two people, individuals, you can't find out where they've been meeting with a group of white nationalists. So what are you talking about? Bullcrap. That's what they're talking about now. I hated to have to give it to them raw, but I'm like Method Man. When you give it to me, yeah, give it to me raw. I've learned when you drink Absolute Straight, it burns enough to give your chest hairs a perm. That's right. Now, you've been listening to Kevin's Corner. Check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30 live. Also, don't forget, that's on YouTube. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. Find me on Twitter, Facebook. Check out Extreme Tees. Put my name in the promo code. You'll get a 20% discount. Kevin. That's the password. And if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, please feel free. The link is in the bottom. And we'll see you next time in Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of this nonsense. God bless.